So guys, now let's start about while loop in Python. So in this video, we will first cover up the core concept about while loop, and we will see the three major variations of while loop. So this is the first variation where you will see after this while keyword a expression, and majority of time these are the comparison operator expressions which generally resulted into a directly true or false boolean values. Second variation is where after while keyword you directly meet with a true value and then with a break. So whenever you see this a true value after this while keyword in this while loop, then you will see with this combination only with true and break. And then the third variation of while loop where after this while keyword you will see directly a value over here, like we have put this x which is referring to the value 4, or a expression which does not return into a boolean value but in some other value. So we will understand that how this kind of while loop works also, and this is where majority of people get confused. So after this watching this video, you will have a full clarity about all the different kind of variation of while loop and a full concept clarity on core concept behind while loop. So let's start with this. So this is how we generally write a while loop. So first we write down this while keyword, and after this while keyword we mention a expression over here, and a expression could be like directly if one value, like we have put this t variable which is referring to the value true right now. So the whole logic behind this while loop is whenever this while loop will meet this true condition, it will run its iteration. So it will back, it will check, is this true? So again it will run its iteration. So until it will be meeting with a true value, it will be keep on running. So let's see now with a line by line execution that how does that happen. So now I'm executing my first line. So look at very carefully. This is the memory. Now this we have this variable t which is referring to the value true. And then now we have created a second variable I which is referring to the value 0. Now we are running this while loop. So and in the first iteration, when we will execute this first line of this while loop, so now this tree t, you can look at in the memory, it is now referring to a true value. So whenever it will meet with a true value, its iteration will run. So that's the reason we are running this code. Now we are not meeting with this condition, so we pass this if statement, then and we have completed our first iteration. So we have gone back for the second iteration. Again in the second iteration, the value of this t is true over here. That means again this while loop is meeting with a true condition. Now as per logic, again we'll go ahead with the next iteration. So now again in the second iteration also the value of this t is true. So again we'll go for the third iteration. But in this third iteration, now we are changing this value t from true to false. Now if you look at in the memory, now this t is referring to a false value. So first we will complete this iteration. Now we have gone back to our next iteration, but now here while is meeting with a false value, and as per the logic, whenever this while keyword will meet with a false value, this loop will be ended. That means we'll be exited out from that loop. So do you see, we have now completed our loop. That's the whole logic behind while loop. But whenever you write a while loop, you need to be very careful because you might end up and sometime into an infinity loop. So you have to make a condition like this should be eventually converted into a false condition, like we have put a if statement for that, or we have to make a true and break combination. So I'll show you. So here we have made this true and break combination, so we'll come to that. Now again, if you look at this particular code over here, so what's happening in this code? So in this code, first we have to define this variable a which is referring to the value 4. And with every iteration of this while loop, we are subtracting 1 from this value of a. So when this value of a will be less than 2, then that means this expression will return into what? Into a false value. And if you're getting confused in that how these comparison operators are returning true and false values, then please check my video about the operators in Python. And the link of that video I have given on the top right hand side topmost corner. So please check those links. So there are 3 videos out there. One is the expressions, second is the operators in Python, and the third is the Boolean value of objects in Python, because all 3 videos are very essential for basic Python concepts. Now let me restart it again. So let me lose all the variables, let me clear the output. So let's see that again, how does this loop will work. I hope you know very well now how the logic goes. So as usual, first we have created this variable a, which is referring to the value 4. So now here we are checking, is this a true condition? Because this expression when a value is 4 will return into a true condition. So whenever while meets a true condition, it's allow iteration to go. And so we have now, and again now we have gone back. So now in the memory this a value has become 3 because we have subtracted 1 in this line. So we have gone for the next iteration. Again when a value is 3, so with this condition again this will return into a what? Into a true condition. So whenever while meet with a true condition, we allow the iteration to go. So again now we are subtracting from a again 1. So now a has become 2. So now again we have gone for our third iteration. But again here now a is equal to 2 because in the memory a is referring to the value 2. So it will return with a true value because here our expression is greater than or equal to 2. So again, but now in this iteration now a value has become 1. So now when a value has become 1, now with this expression, is 1 is greater than or equal to 2? No, it is not. So it will return what? Into a false value. So when while meet with a false value, we always exit it out from that specific loop. So we exited out from that loop and we are now out of that loop. So out of loop. So that's how the while loop runs whenever while loop meet with these kind of expressions. So I hope this gives you a good idea again about how does while loop work. Now let me clear the output, let me lose all the variables, let me restart it. So now let's come to our second variation of our while loop with true and break. So again, first we have seen these conditions over here. So now over here, so now we have written, if you look at the same code, but only in a different style of different variation of a while loop. So here, as per our logic, whenever while meets with a true condition, it always run or allow the iteration to go. So we have to make sure if we'll make this true over here, so we have to exit it out from this while loop with this break clause. So that's the reason I have made it this if statement. So if you look at these two things are exactly opposite. So because over here it should enter in this if statement when this condition should be exactly opposite of that, right? So let's see again with the line by line execution. Now again it is very easy now to understand this code. So now it will always keep on running. Now first iteration got completed. Now we have gone for the second iteration. Again second iteration also got completed. Again third iteration will also be completed because now a value is 2. And when in the fourth iteration when a value became 1, so look at what happened. Then we entered in this if statement and we hit this break keyword clause. So whenever we hit a break clause in any loop, so we always exited out from that loop. And I hope you understand these break and continue clause very well, and specifically in nested for loops, because those things are a bit tricky If you have not idea, then please check my playlist and check those videos out, because those things are very important, specifically how does these break laws works in a nested for loops. Now, the come over here, which is the most confusing part over here. So let me again restart this and then let me clear the old output. Yeah. Now, if you look at, we have this x is equal to 4, and now when I'll run this code, so let me run the whole code. Look at what has happened now. You see, while loop has run and this x value wasn't true over here. Then how that happened? So you might be getting confused, because if in case while meet with the expression, and expression always resulted into a value. If you don't have any idea about that, again please check my video about expression in Python. So any kind of expression will be resulted into a value. It might be a Boolean value, true or false, or might be some other value. So now over here, when it met with a 0 value, it exited out. So what it does, whenever it meets a value which is not true or false or a Boolean value, in that case it checks the associated Boolean value of that object. And in Python, for all the built-in objects, only there are 5 or 6 objects which is having the false associated Boolean value, and those objects are, one of them is the 0. And if you want to see their Boolean associated Boolean value, so you have a bool method on that. So if you'll see, the Boolean value of 0 is false, and if you'll see, the Boolean value of 1 is true, and Boolean value of minus 1 is still true. So only 0 in numeric values is having a false Boolean value. Same way, none is having again a false Boolean value. Any empty list, dictionary, sets, tuples, or any container kind of object which is empty will be having a false Boolean value. Apart from that, all the other Python objects will be having a true Boolean value. So that's what happened over here. So it checks, like, so let me restart it again. Let me clear the output. So let me run this code. So do you see, when x value was 4, it allowed this iteration to go. And now in the second iteration, x value is become 3 over here. So again, it allows that iteration to go. Now the x value is 2. Again, it allows that iteration to go. Now the x value is 1. So again, this while loop allows that iteration to go. Now when this x value has become 0, and again, when x value is 0, and 0 is associated with what? With a false Boolean value. So that means x is meeting with a false condition. So this loop will be exited out. So that's how this kind of a while loop works. So I hope now your while loop concepts are really clear to you. If not, then please check that video out, and please leave a comment if you have learned something new. And thanks a lot guys for watching these videos, and please don't forget to subscribe. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.